everybody. This is just a little video really, just to share a few little tips and tricks, where I position my hands when I'm doing a lash extensions client, and yeah, hopefully you'll find it useful. So first of all, your lash adhesive, it should always be stored in an airtight container. This is mine. I've also got a little silica gel pack in there just for added protection. You don't want any humidity getting to your adhesive, so it can just cause it to go off a little bit quicker. So by storing it correctly, you can just prolong the life of your adhesive. I also place that into a cool dark drawer at the end of the day, just to be sure that that it's not in the sun. There's nothing gonna change my adhesive. Okay, so before you start to do a lash treatment, just make sure you shake your glue really well. The best way to look after your glue is to never shake it with the lid on, always shake it with the lid off. These are just adhesive wipes. You could also use foil or a paper wax strip as well. Don't ever use a cotton pad because it can cause an exothermic reaction. So just give it a really, really good shake. I'd say shake it for about 30 seconds. You can buy glue shakers, but for me, it's just another thing to buy. And to be honest, I've bought one and I never use it. So there's nothing wrong with my hand. So yeah, just give it a really, really good shake. If you ever put some adhesive out and it is clear, it's not been shook enough. Sometimes a little bit of the adhesive can sit in the nozzle. So, and it's usually just clear. It's not black. It's not mixed very well. So sometimes you do need 2 little blobs of glue. The first one is just wasted. So then just give it a wipe round to ensure that there's no fresh adhesive. And then the best way to do this, I'll zoom in. There we go. The best way is to just position your adhesive so it drops out and you don't really need to squeeze. And there we go. It's dropped in, it's mixed. And I find by using these little glue palettes, I can just get sometimes one blob of glue for a whole set. Sometimes I do need to add a little bit extra into another one. Once I've finished with my adhesive, I'll zoom back out. I wipe the nozzle and then I burp my bottle. I'll zoom back in for this. So to burp my bottle, I just squeeze gently and you can see any extra glue that was sat in the nozzle has now come out, and then I'll put my lid on. That will stop any glue clogging in the nozzle, but it will also stop the lid getting stuck on. Then just pop it into the storage jar and it's airtight and nothing's going to change my adhesive. Okay. Okay, so when you first start doing lashes, it can be quite difficult to work out where to place your hands. And I do see a lot of students trying to do lashes like this, from the front, leaning over, and it just looks really, really uncomfortable. And to be honest, it is uncomfortable because it just doesn't feel natural to me. Just doing that to show you, like, If you're leaning over, you're touching the nose, you're on the nose, you're on the mouth, you're on the cheeks. Really, you don't need to be doing that. You can just literally settle your hands at the side of the head or on the forehead, and you don't need to be touching the rest of the face. So I find it's better if you have your client on a pillow, or so that they're about chest height with you. Rest your hands at on the bed or the pillow at the side of the head, and then you've got the support there. If you've got your hands in the air, you will be a little bit shakier and won't be able to get it right into the lashes that you want. So by placing your hands on the bed, you have got that extra support, and you can just lean over. What I do find that a lot of new lashes do, they use their all arms, they're all over. You only actually really need to be using your wrists. You don't really, like maybe from your elbows, but you don't need to be getting all your arms in there. So tweezers, you can use any tweezers you like. So there's so many different styles. Just grab a few for you to show you. There's no right, there's no wrong. You're just going to use whatever you prefer to use. So all these are slightly different shaped, and they all work slightly differently. So if you prefer to use straight tweezers for your isolation, the best way to use the straight tweezers when you're isolating is place your hands just at the back of the head, and I'll zoom in. There we go. So when you're isolating, you can then isolate from the back. It is so much easier if you're just resting your hands on the forehead. If you need to, you can use 2 sets of tweezers to isolate, and then you need to be holding that isolation to then apply your extension. You don't want to be pressing on, like pushing in. It's going to hurt your client. It's going to cause the under eye pads or the tape to move. And yeah, you want it to be a really nice, pleasant experience for your clients. So that's your straight tweezers. If you were using your straight tweezers to apply lashes, just grab some. You can use 2 straight tweezers if you wanted to, or 2 angled tweezers. Like I say, there is no right, there is no wrong. You do what works for you. So if I was using straight tweezers to apply, just use my angled tweezers to isolate. You can do that. Just make sure you've got your lash in your tweezers and at an angle where you can apply, and then you just need to place. If you do need the support of the client's head, just rest your finger on the cheek. But as you can see, I'm not there, I'm not applying from, because I do see a lot of people trying to apply them from this way. I just find it's so much easier to apply them from the side. There is no glue on this lash, but it really is that easy just to sit the eyelash extension onto the natural lash. And I know a lot of people find it more difficult when it comes to the other eye. So if I was applying lashes on this eye, again, I would isolate. And so all I'm going to do in this case is, and I will zoom out again, is move myself slightly to the side so I can get to the outer corners and then isolate. And then when I'm applying, oh, what's that little lash? Let me grab another one. So if I'm applying with straight tweezers, again, I might need to lean slightly on the nose, but I tend not to. I tend to just balance on the on my wrist, on the foot, onto the forehead. And there we go. We can just place. I'll place the lash and then let go. And you can see when I was isolating, again, I was just resting my wrist just here, and I've got all the movement then in my hand. I'll just show you some other tweezers that you can use for the isolation. So if I was using 2 straight tweezers for isolation and application, again, these are very different. You could use the long one that's slightly cut out to isolate, and the straight ones to apply. I absolutely love these tweezers actually. These are Vitas ST10. I've had them for years, and I absolutely love that they're so small. They just fit in my hand. For me, I prefer shorter tweezers to longer ones. Again, that's just another preference, but I find that these are absolutely amazing for application if you do like 2 straight ones. If I was going to isolate with angled tweezers, I will just zoom back in. Sorry, I'm not like a tech whiz or anything. Should have someone here to record this for me, but I don't. So if I was isolating with angled tweezers, I find that these are absolutely amazing. We sell these on the shop. You can just get your tweezer, get your lash, and it just moves all the others out of the way. And because it's an angled one, you're not pressing down on the eyelid either. They just work really well. And again, I absolutely love these ones for getting to those inner corners. You can see that. So they are pretty much the only ones that I would use for isolation. And then application, I would either use these ones or my ST10s, or when I'm doing brush and volume, I use the Lash Patrol 90-degree ones, because, well, Nancy ones these are. I find that these are absolutely amazing for making fans. They don't lose the sharpness, and they don't lose the hold either. So these are absolutely brilliant. You can buy them from the shop. I think that is the last of my little tips for today. I'll show you how to just pull back slightly if you needed to, and to get to those inner corners. There are other videos, and I will dig them out the archive or use my children as models, but just to show you. So if you do struggle getting to those inner corners, you can use a little bit of tape on the eyelid, just press onto the eyelid, and if you then pull out, on a real person, it would just extend the lash line, and it just makes it easier to get to those inner corners. You can also pull back, use tape. If you've got somebody that's got quite hooded eyes and there's quite a lot of skin there, if you just pull back slightly, it just lifts it up. And this also works for those clients that have got really straight downward pointing lashes. If you just press on gently onto the eyelid and you can just pull up slightly, it will stop those lashes then sticking to the under eye pads. So if I was doing a set of lashes now, it would be so much easier to isolate and apply because the lashes are not stuck down, as you can see. And then you can move that once you've finished. And there are loads of different taping up tricks that you can use to get to the lower lashes. Like you could tape these back, on top layer, and then you can get to the lower layers as well. This tape is really good. Again, we do sell this in the shop. This is the breathable tape, and I just find that the lashes don't stick to it quite so much, so definitely worth getting. Hopefully you've enjoyed that little video, and I will do some more. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this mini tutorial, please subscribe to our channel.